faith stories.
My now wife Chelsea was like, "Hey, you're coming to church with me on Sunday," and I was like, "All right, I've been looking at the Bible. Let's do this."
Fishing memories.
When I first started, I was just fish, focus on the fish, focus on the fish. And I see the kid catch a fish, I'm like, good job, perfect, awesome. And then he goes up there and I'm like, we're catching slot snook. And this kid's up here going, oh, the breeze. I'm like, this is exactly what it's about.
Meaningful conversations.
You have to stay in the Word. You have to have a good support system. You have to know what the end goal is. You have to know who God is.
Positivity. This is the Faith and Fishing Podcast. Your hosts, Cam Steele.
If your identity is you're an angler, whenever you're not doing well in the water, that's whenever you can't be content.
And Robert Randolph.
And his timing is perfect. We might not always agree with it, and we might not always understand it at the moment.
Bring you interviews with some amazing guests from the fishing community and discuss all things to do with fishing and their faith. Welcome to the family.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Faith and Fishing Podcast. I'm Cam.
Hey, and I'm Robert.
And we have an exciting episode for y'all this week. But first, I want to right out of the gate go ahead and warn you, if all of a sudden Cam is no longer on the podcast, that is just because this is my own call week. And that means that at any minute I could get a call from work and I have to bounce. But I let him off easy last week. I'm not going to do it this week. Robert, there is something missing.
And,
yeah.
You made a post about it the same day. I had this big, nice beard going
It was
on.
a beautiful beard.
Yeah, it was nice. He even made a comment about it, a couple of shows ago. You're like, oh man, that, your beard's really, and it was looking good, but unfortunately I had to get rid of it a little earlier. I usually keep it from the first of dove season, which is usually the first week of September, and then I'll usually keep it all the way to the end of February, and then shave it off in March when it starts getting a little warmer outside. But I had to go a little bit early this year. Actually, our company got bought out, and so there's other corporate people around, and I had to look a little bit more clean shaven, a little bit more professional, a little bit earlier this year. But it'll be back in September.
I hear you. Well, Robert, have you had a chance to do any fishing since we last talked?
Let's see. I did go out last Saturday, but it was more to test the foot steering. I put foot steering on the NK 180, so I kind of missed that from my old kayak. I could run the trolling motor in the front and then use foot steering, and I didn't have to mess with the remote. And so I fixed the P127 where I have the foot steering back. So I did go for a couple hours, but it was just to my normal stomping ground close to my house, and it really hasn't even gotten fired up yet. So I may have gotten one bite, but probably not. It was probably a rock. So I tested that out and rode around for a little bit, and actually graphed a whole lot and just kind of was looking around for some different stuff. But I didn't catch any fish, but the foot steering works great. So kind of getting ready for Murray. And just so everybody knows, when this comes out, this is the last day to sign up for the Bassmaster event on Lake Murray. As of right now, which we're recording this a week early, there's 198 signed up. So I'm guessing it's going to end close to 250. And so it's going to be a huge event. And so if you are in the area and can sign up for it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I did not get a chance to do any fishing. Like I said, I'm on call. So last weekend was my weekend on call. So instead of fishing, I put together the crib, as you can see behind me over here, getting things ready, little by little, getting ready for the. Should we call it the second coming, since it's the second
second
kid? But yeah, we our all getting excited about that. Henry is super stoked to be a big brother. So he is going to be rather disappointed with the fact that the baby is not going to be able to run with him right out the gate. But we're all excited. So yeah, let's not hold it up any longer. Let's dive into this episode. We are. Well, I tell you what. Let's do it right after this.
Get Outdoors Pedal and Paddle is one of the largest canoe, kayak, and cycling retailers in the Southeast, with a huge selection of kayaks, canoes, bikes, and all the accessories needed to experience paddling and cycling comfortably and safely. Get Outdoors helps to expand and educate the paddling community through their free demos held on local lakes in the Greensboro, North Carolina area, and through in-store clinics and on the water courses and demos, and will even get your new boat rigged up for kayak fishing for you. Stop by the shop in Greensboro, North Carolina, or visit them online at shopgetoutdoors.com to be wowed by their selection.
All right, so this week we are going to be talking about a charity tournament that is upcoming, and the charity that the benefits from that tournament are going towards. So we are going to bring on members of the charity, as well as the tournament director that is coming up. So Jon, Brad, and Fenway, welcome to the show, guys.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. So y'all know that I am on the Carolina Waters team, and Jon House is also up there with us. So a few weeks ago, I think it was, Jon came on the group chat and shared this, and a few of us that have podcasts and other platforms said, "Hey, send us that flyer," so that we can share with others. So I invited Jon on to talk about this, and he was kind enough to invite his friends on as well. So we're going to start things off by just having you introduce yourself really quick. Tell us who you are and all that good stuff. And Jon, we can start with you.
Okay. So again, my name is Jon House, and I'm a Mooresville, I guess, native now. But I took up kayak bass fishing a few years ago, and this is my third season. And just loving it. Been doing it here in the Carolinas for a couple of years, and decided to throw in a few Hobie events this year. So we'll see how that goes. It didn't go too good in Florida, but we'll see how that goes for the rest of the year. And just looking forward to this charity event. And it's just a crazy idea that I had, and it's taken off. So really excited about it.
Absolutely. And y'all feel free to jump in however you want to. Fenway, let's start with you.
Hey, I'm Fenway. I currently serve on the board of directors for Brad Homes. I've been with them since our first home. They've built homes or helped with home solutions in 47 states plus Puerto Rico. Just finished up a couple homes, one with Montel Williams just this last month. It'll be airing on Lifetime Television. I'm not sure how many fishermen watch Lifetime Television, though.
We all have wives, so we all have to watch it occasionally.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah.
I also am a kayak angler. I'm also a veteran, and that's my tie-in there. And my buddy Chap here, he is a serving chaplain right now in the Army. Plus, he works for Purple Heart Homes.
Okay, absolutely.
There you go. That's the intro. Thanks, Fenway. That was beautiful.
Absolutely. So Brad, should we call you Chap for the rest of the rest of the episode?
Yeah, you can do that. That'd be fine.
The whole world does. Nobody.
So I'm not a kayak fisherman. I'm a fly fisherman kind of guy. But once I saw on some YouTube videos, what you guys do, I was like looking at my wife going, I think I need a new hobby. And then she was like, no, you don't.
There you go.
So, but yeah, we're really grateful. All of us at Purple Heart Homes are thankful for Fenway being on our board, and but I was really stoked about this whole thing on Lake Norman this summer, and when Fenway asked me to talk to Jon, and just really glad this thing's going to go on. And I wish there'd be a 1,000 kayaks out there. That'd be great, So
Absolutely.
yeah.
So we will dive into the tournament in just a little bit, but first, Brad and Fenway, I will kind of open it up to both of y'all. What is Purple Heart Homes?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take a swing. So Purple Heart Homes is a 501c3 public charity based out of Statesville, North Carolina, but we're a national organization. Like Fenway said, we have done work in 47 states and Puerto Rico. But our mission began really almost 20 years ago when our co-founders were in Iraq. In 2004, they were part of an element from the North Carolina National Guard that was deployed there, and they in November of 2004 they ran over a anti-tank mine in their Humvee, and Dale lost both of his legs. Jon suffered a traumatic brain injury and back injuries, and Dale was medevaced out of theater, and Jon was returned to duty. But Dale spent the next year and a half learning how to walk on metal legs, and when he got back home here in Iredell County, realized the home that he was living in wasn't suitable for his injuries, and Jon, when he was on the outside and outside of the Guard back home, he was a contractor. So Jon, just saw an opportunity to help his buddy, and so rallied, building supplies, contractors, veteran service organizations, businesses like Fenway's business, that were involved from the very beginning, and they built Dale an adaptive home that suited his needs and his injuries. And out of all that and all the volunteers that came out, Jon and Dale began to ask the question of what was being done for other veterans, because there was a lot of veterans that came to work on Dale's project, and what they found out, there wasn't really much for them, especially our older veterans, our Vietnam era veterans, our fathers, our grandfathers, Korean War veterans, World War II veterans. And so that was kind of the genesis of, in the heart of Purple Heart Homes, was just sort of epiphany moment, looking around at people that had served them. And so, that was almost 20 years ago. And we were, became official in 2008. So we celebrated 15 years last year. Our very first project was with a Vietnam veteran, a ramp. That was 2010. And to date, it's over 1,200 projects nationwide, 1,200 veterans that have been impacted, 1,200 families, 1,200 communities that have been impacted by trying to repeat what happened with Dale, to bring communities together to help veterans in the space that they live in. So it gives them some freedom and accessibility and safety for their homes. So.
Absolutely. So I want to ask, how did it go from deciding to do this for Dale, do it for Dale, and then have that grow, like whenever you got finished doing the upfit for Dale's house,
yeah.
Did you immediately go, we need to do this for others, or did people seek you out? How did that evolve into what it is now?
No, I think it was with Jon and Dale, it was that they needed to do that for others. And in fact, it took them a long time to just find a veteran that would receive the help. Right? It was very difficult. It took them a couple of years, to figure that out. And so, back then it was just Dale and Jon in a pickup truck. That was it. That was all it was, and a few members of the community. And, and now, here we are, 15, 16 years later, we've got 33 folks that work day in, day out, at our headquarters, we bought an old factory where we're manufacturing tiny homes, and so yeah, the growth has been now it's people seeking us out, right? And in the beginning it was us trying to find someone to help, and that's kind of a cool shift in things.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to pause and go back. I, I I'm pretty sure all three of y'all have served, correct?
I have not.
Oh,
Nope.
you have not. Okay. I wanted to say thank you for your service. I typically try to say that as soon as it gets brought up, and we moved on in the conversation, and it just dawned on me that I had not thanked y'all. So wanted to say thank you for your service. We all are super appreciative of it, and thankful for. I mean, without people like y'all, stuff like this podcast wouldn't exist. So definitely just wanted to say thank you on that. But how large has Purple Heart Homes grown into now?
And how would you like me to quantify that impact?
So let's start off by like how big is your team, and then we'll go into you've already told us how far you're reaching and how many homes and all that stuff. But let's start with your team, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, yeah. So we got 33 full-time employees, all work in Statesville, North Carolina. But then we also have 16 chapters that are spread out in different cities across the United States. In fact, we're getting ready to go and talk to some folks up in Lynchburg, Virginia next week about a chapter. And so while everything is kind of housed here in North Carolina, we have relationships with our chapters in various parts of the country as well.
Nationwide impact.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And just a personal question here: what part of Statesville are y'all based out of?
Well, I mean, as far as Purple Heart Homes, we're in South Statesville,
Okay.
right off of Garner Bagnell Boulevard, and in that area in the industrial side of town. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, Kim, if you've seen the video, but I was able to take the GoPro through and do a walkthrough of the facility there, showing you some of the houses that were being built and that kind of stuff. So I don't know if there was a way that you could splice that in there, but that would be pretty cool.
Okay. I don't know if my video editing skills are quite up to that or not, but I will try.
We can put a link to that as well. So
yeah, there will definitely be a link in the show notes.
Yeah.
Whether it ends up in this episode or not on the video, it will definitely be in the show notes. But yeah, so my granddaddy was from Statesville, and
okay.
his house was on 70, right there. And he had a farm with all kinds of crazy exotic animals. So,
way on 70, was it east of town or west of town?
I want to say east, like northeast of town.
Okay.
But
right.
Yeah, out towards Lake Norman.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so just wanted to kind of throw that out there as a little personal connection. But yeah, so how did each of y'all get involved?
Well, I guess I'll start with that because I guess I had the crazy idea. So I'm actually, you had said John's the tournament director. I just had the crazy idea and talked it over with, we're actually running this through the Foothills Kayak Trail based out of the Foothills. But Cody Barlow and Ashley Barlow run that trail, and I'm a sponsor for that group this year. And I was just like, hey, I've had this envisioned for a couple of years. Don't know really how it would play out, but I wanted to do it for the veterans. And it just so happened that Fenway here, who's also a sponsor of the Foothills Trail, had the connection with Purple Heart Homes. And Cody was just like, hey, I really think you should talk with Fenway. He has a relationship with Purple Heart Homes. And, we've already, I think we donated some money or something happened last year with that horror thing. So I was like, yeah, I'd love to sit down with him. And then we grabbed a cup of coffee one day, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Purport Homes, they provide housing solutions for veterans, and my last name is House, and I sell houses." So I'm like, "Dude, this is a perfect fit." So no, I mean, I had no idea what Purport Homes was, and but now I'm fully vested in it. I just think that it's awesome, and quite frankly, reading up on some of the other veteran charities, if you will, some of them are not what they present on paper. So, to be able to walk through the facility and see actually what they do, it made me feel better about it as well. So I'll let Fenway dive in from there.
Yeah, well, I got connected with Jon, which was great. I fished with Foothills Kayak Anglers. I'm a recovering ultra marathoner who's looking for something else to do. And so I've been kayak fishing. I don't know what I'm doing fishing, but I just cover a lot of miles. I bike a lot with Chap. He's a great cyclist. He has actually another cycling event that's a fundraiser. And so kayak fishing was a great segue for me to recover from my injuries, and I moved back on the lake. So I live right beside the boat ramp. So that's my that's my end to kayak fishing. And when Jon asked if it'd be a perfect fit, I said yes. Let me introduce you to Chap, because Chap is an awesome guy, and they do awesome work. And what I really love about being involved with them as a sponsor is they take your money, whatever you give, and they double it or quadruple it, and they spend so much of the money on programming and homes for veterans, not something for in-house, for marketing, for a country music star, or for going out partying. They provide housing, and I don't know what the ratio is. I can't remember what it is, Chap. What is the ratio for dollar for that you give to Purport Homes? How much do you guys put into housing?
Right now it's probably we're probably at 81 cents on the dollar goes to the mission of housing, and critical home repair.
Nice.
And that's way above the norm for any nonprofit.
Oh,
a
absolutely.
nonprofit would like to be, a stretch goal was to be over 50%. They're at 80. It's crazy how much money they turn into great things, and it doesn't take a lot. And so me, all my winnings from fishing, I'm donating to Purport Homes. So I've won a couple. I won a tournament this year, and I got a couple seconds last year, and I'm just giving all the money to Purport Homes this year.
But keep in mind, he's not good at fishing.
I just put in the miles. I just keep on throwing the rod, putting miles. There's so many fish in the lake, you're bound to hit one of them.
There you go.
Yeah. So you kind of put the ultra marathon, and you just brought it over to the kayak, and you're just trying to log those miles.
Right. I finished the tournament. I log it on my GPS. I put in 20 miles, and other guys say, "Well, I never left the dock hardly," and I cover the whole lake.
Me. Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that's all by pedals. Is it you're doing manpower? I know Foothills is, Queen City is all man-powered. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. That 20 miles is a ton with no motor.
Yeah, we'll get into the tournament specifics again here in a minute, but I will say with this charity event, for all the listeners out there that have a kayak with a motor on that side of the state, this is one that we are allowing motors for this event. So we'll hit on that again here in a few minutes, but don't let that deter you if you're used to the Minn Kota. Just bring her on over and let's do some fishing.
Absolutely. Robert, I've kind of dominated the steering.
Oh no, that's good. No, you're good. You keep on rolling. I think you're doing awesome. I'll throw some in there if I see you going off track. I'll reel you back in.
All right.
Well, while we got Brad on here, Brad, do you have any additional things that you'd want to throw in there for the listeners? I know you got to run.
Yeah, I appreciate that. No, I just really want to, Jon and Fenway, just want to thank you guys so much for, you could have just had a tournament, and and it'd been great, I'm sure, but you decided to do you decided to make veterans and folks that have served, your focus, and we're really thankful for that, and thankful for this platform to be able to share all this. And the last thing I like to say is the reason I do what I do is because, I read about this guy in the Bible that, told us that he didn't come to be served, but he came to serve. And I kind of want to live my life like that. And so, that's kind of why I do this, and kind of why I do anything. So, but grateful to you guys, and I appreciate the opportunity to share a little bit tonight, and can't wait to see everybody in the tournament this summer.
Heck yeah.
Absolutely. And before we lose you, Brad, I want to give you a chance, if you wouldn't mind, if there's anybody you want to shout out or give out the website, how can people find you? How can people donate? How can people get involved?
Yeah, sure. The easiest way to find us is at phhusa.org. That's phhusa.org. And we've got a pretty functional website that you can pretty easy to navigate, and you can find out about everything, including this event, is on our events page now. So I'd like to say hey to everybody at Purple Heart Homes, and appreciate all the work you guys do, and appreciate this crew here. So thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, man.
All right, man. Bless you guys.
Thanks.
See you, buddy.
Thanks, chap.
Awesome. So the like Robert said, the website will be in the show notes. Here in a minute, I'm going to be sharing my screen to show the flyer for this. There is a scan here to donate QR code on it. So you can go to YouTube on your computer and pause it and scan it, and you can donate straight from there, or you can, let's go ahead and pull it up now. So here it is. So y'all go for it. Let's see if we can,
Yeah, and just so you're aware, Cam, I can provide you a link that has a direct tie to our to our charity event.
Okay.
You can put it down in the description that they could just click on. It'll take them directly to the donate page, and they can do whatever they want to do there. You can even set up recurring on monthly, or if you wanted to go that route, or just one time. Doesn't really matter.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. Go ahead and send me that link, and that link will also be in the show notes. So John, let's go ahead and let's dive into the charity tournament here. So it's called Real Heroes, which is a phenomenal name, REEL. So I'll let you you just kind of take over and talk about whatever it is you need to talk about on the tournament side of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, it's called Real Heroes, and shout out to Fenway and Brad. We all three were in the conference room over there at Purple Heart Homes, and they have a little smart board, and we were just throwing stuff out, and that's just kind of what got put up on the board, and we all liked it and rolled with it. So Fenway was gracious enough to have one of his team members generate the little logo there, and that's what we're rolling with. So. But again, it's Real Heroes Kayak Bass Fishing Tournament. It's on Lake Norman on July 13th of 2024. Anticipate that time of year, we'll probably have a 6 a.m. launch time. With the Foothills Trail, we do lines in and launch at the same time. So typically we'll be off the water by 3 p.m. Following the tournament, we will head over to Richard's Coffee Shop in Mooresville. Richard's Coffee Shop is a coffee shop and Veterans Museum in downtown Mooresville. They're also 503c3 or 50c3 or something like that. What is it, Fenway?
501c3.
There you go. It's one of those.
Got
it. But they do a lot with Purple Heart Homes, and like I said, give back to the veterans. Fenway had a chance to go in there this past weekend or weekend before and see what it was all about. I'll let him hit on that, but they've graciously opened up their doors and allowing us to do the weigh-in there. As far as the event, we are still trying to fill some sponsorship tiers. We have platinum still available. I think one gold and several bronze left available. So if that's something that you or your business would like to entertain, my contact information, I'm sure they'll put in the description. Feel free to reach out to me, and we'll see. Checks are made payable directly to Bar Homes and delivered upon arrival. So, we're just trying to keep it as simple as possible. You can, like I said, do a custom donation if you don't want to do a sponsorship tier. And then because this is a charity event and 100% of the proceeds are going to the cause, all registration fees from all the registered anglers is being donated. So we do have several vendors that have already donated product. But what we're trying to do is create a goodie bag for all registered anglers that would include a value of at least $40, which is the registration fee for this event. That way folks are getting something for their money, since we're not actually out there fishing for money on this event. But it's like I said, it started off as an idea. It's turned into something pretty cool. Next year we've tossed around verbally. We think it's going to be a 2-day event. It's going to be a kayak day on one weekend, and then the following weekend be a boat day. So hopefully it just continues to grow. Like I said, it's all for raising money for our veterans and providing housing solutions for them, and that's all we can ask for.
Absolutely.
And John's landed some great prizes. Raffle items. He's got a big list.
Yeah. So we've got kayaks, we've got rods. There's just a bunch of stuff out there. We got a lot of vendors out there that have verbally committed to something, but I have a feeling we're going to have some great prizes on the table. There shouldn't be any reason why, obviously, with the goodie bags, every registered angler don't walk away with something. So, it'll be a good event. And then, like I said, the tier sponsors, I did forget to hit on this. If you are a tier sponsor, we're encouraging you to come over to Richard's Coffee Shop. They have a big parking lot out back. You can either have a tent up there with some, giveaway or not giveaways, but marketing materials, or if it's raining, they have some tables inside. Will allow you to sit up in there, because we want you to be a part of the event just as much as we want the anglers to be a part of the event. It's all about raising money. So.
Yeah. So I'm guessing that this is going to be on Tourney X. Are you guys going to run it through Tourney X?
We are, and again, it's through the Foothills Trails. So if you type in
Cool.
Foothills on Tourney X, it's already in there as an event that you can register for. Basic details are in there. Obviously, we'll have to edit it as we go through, but we even put the T-shirt size in there. We have a T-shirt vendor donating some shirts for the anglers. So your T-shirt size is in there. It's going to just be your standard cotton T-shirt since it's a donated shirt, but
cool.
Yes. all that's in there, and I can provide that link as well. It should be a good event. It's everything that we're all accustomed to is on the kayak world. I said $40 entry. There is an additional donation box in there too if you wanted to chip in. I know some of us do some of the larger trails, but you don't have to. So.
Yeah, so a couple things on that, and we've had several guests on here for charity tournaments for kayaks and or boats. But if you reach out to Dwayne Wally, a lot of times he will waive the fee that he charges for Tourney X, and that'll be another way to get all of that money into the pot. But he's really
already been taken care of.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is for everybody listening, and I've done this several times myself. You may be listening in Kentucky, New York, wherever. I've signed up for several tournaments that I know that I'm not going to take part in, these charity events like that. So even if you're not around North Carolina, you're listening to this, you can go on Tourney X, look this tournament up, and what better way to get some numbers up, and what better way to support a great cause? Go online and go on Tourney X and sign up for this tournament, and even if you can't fish it. So don't forget that. I know that, there's been several huge kayak tournaments for charities where people have signed up all over the United States. And, probably over 75% of the people that signed up had no intention of fishing it, but it's a good way to give back to the community and to show kind of what the kayak angling community is all about.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
So, and to hit on that too, I mean, exposure of this event is what's going to make it. So, whether it's, sharing this podcast, when it hits the YouTube, or the video that we created already, or if you see it on Facebook, try to follow us on the Facebook. We did create an event page last week. I'm going to try to keep that updated, like Catch Boards, Catch Products. They gave us a discount code, which they give all trails a discount code. But the difference between our discount code is whatever comes off of that discount code, they're going to give 5% back as a donation. So everybody needs a new catch board or catch holder, catch ID, whatever. Just use code purple. Go to Catch and use code purple, and it automatically just helps the charity event. So,
awesome. Absolutely, and I mean, the power of sharing stuff on social media. I mean, whenever you click share, I mean, I don't know if you're like me. I mean, I'm a little bit different than most because I moved when I was in high school, so I have two kind of sets of friends that I don't know anything about them, but they're friends of mine on Facebook because we were friends at one point when we were 15 or whenever we were 11. And we saw each other and we were like, add friend, and haven't talked to them at all since. But we all have like hundreds of friends on Facebook that we have absolutely no idea what their passions are, what their thing is. So I mean, even if you're not into tournament kayak angling, go ahead and share this on your Facebook page, and because there may be somebody that you connected with back in 2002 that has since been like pushed back to the ether of your friends list, that still somehow sees your stuff, that is like, oh, that's awesome, I'm going to sign up. So,
or they may be even a veteran in need. You never know. So,
yeah, absolutely.
That's true too. That's the other side of it.
And I mean, like I said, you never know what's going to stick on the internet, like you said too. So to just throw this out there, I literally shared maybe 2 weeks ago now, 10 days ago, I shared a video short on my YouTube. It's got over 160,000 views and 300 subscribers, and it is the dumbest video, but something that has meaning, about this event and that kind of stuff. It gets like 400 views. I'm like, come on, guys! Like, everybody just share this one time, it would take off. So, exposure's key. It's going to make or break any event. Obviously, we're trying to make this one. So,
we even got exposure on Lifetime Television. The actual designer gave a shout out for this. So, if you're watching Lifetime with your wife, if you're man enough to admit it,
awesome.
Should be a good event.
Most definitely. Well, Jon Fenway, is there anything else about this tournament that we need to share?
Yeah. Well, go ahead, Fenway.
Big thing is it's also helping veterans. So a lot of veterans do other things to cope with PTSD and other things they're going through. And so there's multiple ways where veterans can participate, either coming out and fishing with us as a way to get over some of those tough moments, or fish with friends, or make friends in the water. And then at Richard's Coffee Shop. Richard's Coffee Shop is a war museum as well as a coffee shop. And it's run by volunteers. And all the money actually goes to help veterans locally. And so they've done a lot of really wonderful things. And if you're a veteran, you go there the first time, you sign the logbook, and they ask you to leave your rank and your politics at the door and become one of the family. And they actually give you a keychain that's handmade by someone, depending on your service. And if you served on wartime, and they ring a bell and everybody claps, and it's quite emotional. I did it. My parents were there. My dad's an Army veteran. He goes there, and they have bluegrass on Saturdays. And he just happened to be there when I met another angler, Wes Richardson, who helped us come up with a video. He's also an Army veteran, and I didn't realize how emotional it was. They ring the bell and they welcome you home, and it was pretty neat. So, it's not just helping those veterans that have homes, but veterans who come enjoy it. Come to Richard's Coffee Shop or come fish with us.
Yeah, exactly. And then, yeah, I mean, there's not much to follow up with that, couldn't we? Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. All right. Well, let's dive in now to our "What's Your Favorite" segment and just have some fun. And we're just going to ask you your favorite in a few different categories. And it is powered by Nakwa Adventure Gear. So I believe this is another sponsor that we share with John. So is that right, John?
Not officially, but Heidi was a blessing in disguise right before Florida, and yeah, they've helped me out this year for sure.
Okay, yeah. That's how it got involved with them too, was Heidi. Yeah. All right.
It's time for What's Your Favorite, powered by Nakwa Adventure Gear. Power that fits in the palm of your hand.
And speaking of Nakwa saving the day, this came in handy today because one of my coworkers' radio died, and I was able to charge it for him and keep him in communication with the rest of the team. So thank you, Nakwa, for saving the day once again. All right, so we'll just kind of we'll start with one of you and then go to the next one and just kind of rotate it while Robert and I rotate asking the questions. So let's start with what is your favorite scripture? And Fenway, let's start with you since you're on my left and I read left to right.
All things through Christ. That's I know everybody uses that one, but that one's got me through a lot of ultra marathons. You're running in the dark in the middle of the woods. That one's got me through a lot. I know it's simple and it's used by a lot of folks, but that one's a good one.
For sure.
Yeah. I was clearing my notifications, but my favorite is right here on my phone. It's going to be backwards probably. But it's John 13:7 says, "You do not realize now what I'm doing, but later you will understand." This life throws some curveballs. So, I had stage 4 cancer back in 2008. And at 20 years old, I was not expecting it. But it's kind of just been a chapter of life and made me who I am and just kind of roll with the punches.
Awesome.
Well, we'll go to what's your favorite Bible story?
And John, we'll start with you this time.
I have no idea. So to be quite frank with you, I did not grow up in the church. That's just, I have a crazy background or a crazy back history of life. But since meeting my wife and that whole ordeal, getting married and going through the treatments and that kind of stuff, we've gone to church, and she grew up in the church. Our children are going to church. But to be quite frank with you, man, I'm never really read into it. So I would be encouraged to hear what you guys have to say.
Okay, for sure. What about you, Fenway?
I don't really have a favorite, but what comes to mind for this is this whole event is a parable of talents. You can do something with what you can have. You can invest it. You can bury it. But you guys are sharing it. You guys are using your talents. You're helping others. I think that really comes to mind. If Chap were here, he'd have a building story. He's got a couple he uses. But I think, what you guys are doing is great.
Yeah, awesome.
So I'll say we were recently interviewed on another podcast, and that episode will air in a few weeks, I think. But we were asked that question as well. So my go-to is the story of Nehemiah, where he is sent to he went to Jerusalem. He heard that the wall had been torn down, and he was given permission by the king to go to his hometown to help rebuild the wall. And this guy who was like, his job, like his background was, I taste the cup that is given to the king to make sure it's not poison, and somehow ends up being this great leader to uh, survive all of this diverse what all of these challenges and everything, from
Right.
emotional challenges to physical challenges to like natural challenges,
Wow.
to lead this group of everyday townspeople into being soldiers and building walls and all this stuff. So that's my favorite. And Robert, you
Oh
said
yeah, I always go
Daniel and
back to Daniel and the Lion's Den, and I just that really. I mean, it was my favorite when I was a kid, and then we teach elementary Sunday school every week, so it really is something that kids can relate to, and I mean adults can relate to it too. But that's always one that's always the top of mind for me, just because I see the kids' reaction to it, and them following like, how in the world did he go in there and do what he did? So that's the one that always comes to mind when somebody asks about a favorite Bible story.
So you're saying you never grew up, Robert?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, if you only knew.
Awesome. So let's jump over into fishing. All right. So I guess Fenway, we're starting with you this time. What is your favorite fish to catch?
The biggest fish of the day.
Heck yes.
That's the first time somebody's answered that. That's a good one.
I don't know that anybody has answered that question with
Nope.
with not a species, and I
There you
love
go.
it.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah, I would say striper, because usually I'm not out fishing for them specifically, but when they hit, it's usually a swim bait. Well, you think you got a toad on, and just your heart. I mean, it's not jumping, so it's like, oh, this isn't good, but you don't know until you know. So, I just like the adrenaline that it instantly creates. You're like, oh boy, here we go, and then it's 14-inch striper. Yeah.
So that was your favorite fish to catch. Now this is a different question, but it's in the same realm. Your favorite fish to fish for. So your favorite one to throw the lure and try to trick into biting.
So here's a backstory for me. I took up fishing 2 years ago. So the only thing I've ever fished for intentionally was bass. Now I've caught some catfish and I caught the stripers, and some perch and all this other little stuff. But yeah, no, I'm specifically out there specifically for black bass. So I would say my favorite, honestly, was up on Lake James, Meanmouth. But other than that was pretty cool.
Heck yeah.
So what's that question again?
So your favorite fish to fish for, the favorite fish that you're trying to trick into biting.
I would have to say it was with my kids. Going there with the Spider-Man rod and the Barbie rod, and just getting little sunnies. That probably my favorite. Seeing my daughter catch her first one and just scream and run with the rod and drag the fish across the shore.
That's what it's all about. Yeah, that's awesome.
Absolutely. All right, so back to Fenway. Your favorite fish to eat?
Favorite fish to eat? I like shrimp, and I like catching shrimp. I go to Edisto. We catch shrimp with shrimp nets on a shrimp rig, and we take the whole family out and do it. We rent a actual shrimp boat, and I love eating the shrimp after. That's not a fish, but
that's close enough.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Man, the best shrimp I've ever had was at this place in Mount Pleasant in South Carolina. When it was right on the creek, and literally like I was eating shrimp, watching them like empty the shrimp nets on the dock, and it's like this is the freshest that we can do. So I'm down with the super fresh shrimp. But, I I got really spoiled being so close to the coast for so long because whenever I'm ordering seafood, like I'm used to asking the waitress what was swimming this morning. So,
I would say mine's swordfish. Like I like that dense. It's just basically
Steak.
like a fishy steak.
Yeah.
I like that. We went to Alaska a few years ago. I had something. If you said the name of it, I could probably say yeah, but I don't remember what it was. Very white and flaky. That was real good too, but I can't remember what it was.
was it halibut?
Yeah, halibut. That's what it was. Yeah, and it's caught fresh right there. Kind of the same thing you eating on the dock there. It's it was fresh, caught that day, and that was good. But I would still take swordfish over it. Yeah.
Heck yeah, that's a solid picks, both of them.
Yeah, I like it. All right, stay with you, John. What about your favorite fishing snack? What are you eating out on the water?
Oh man, I'm not even sponsored, but if they're listening, Bucky's beef jerky, man, that's where it's at. So I love beef jerky, but I actually Bucky's is my favorite. It's tender enough that you're not out there with dental floss all afternoon. And, but that's my go-to if I eat on the water. See, I have a problem with I don't eat or drink on the water, and then I stand up at the boat ramp afterwards. I'm like, oh boy. So, yeah.
My favorite food is a drink. I love Rockstar Energy Drink. I'll drink about 5 drinks and I'm out there all day.
Oh, geez.
That's how he gets 20 miles in.
That's it. Yeah, you got to stay jacked up. I love it.
Drink it. I was pacing an ultra marathon for 100 miles running. I've slammed one of those down, and that was just kept me going.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know that I could drink one of those without ending up in the hospital.
Yeah, I drink more than I should, even with the irregular heartbeat, but whatever. So.
I hear you. All right, so I don't need GPS coordinates or secret spots or anything like that, but what is your favorite body of water to fish?
Well, mine is my backyard. I live the lakes right here. I live by one of the ramps that you can put in from Lake Norman. And I can just walk over there or, I'm right here. And so I like fishing in my backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I have a couple answers to that. So obviously picking up the win last year on Norman, that's probably my favorite. I live in a community that has lake access as well. Just from a spotted bass, and you seem to always catch fish any given day. That said, aesthetically, I would say, Lake James or Fontana Lake, just being in that mountain scenery, it's gorgeous. Not necessarily 300 feet of water, but the scenery up there is amazing.
Yeah, awesome. Let's see, where are we at? Okay, lure to throw. John, we'll go back to you. What's your favorite lure to throw?
Oh, so if you'd asked me the first year, it's definitely shaky head. But I've grown into swim bait. I just love throwing the swim bait, all different, disguises, if you will. That core tackle that just came out, that thing is pretty sweet. But I just love the swim bait, man. You can feel them hit it, and they're either running right at you or pulling away. So it's pretty fun. It's almost boring anymore to go back down to a finesse setup just because you're not moving. You're just sitting there. So. But I would definitely say swim bait, or I'll even throw crankbait in there, just something that's constantly moving.
So are you somebody who likes the like hard-bodied, multi-jointed swim baits, or are you like the mag draft style, like soft plastic swim baits? Like what's your style there?
Yeah, I prefer soft plastics, but I have noticed throwing the like glide bait type things, I think they get bigger fish. Just not nearly as many, but it really depends on the tournament, I guess. If they're spotted bass, they seem to like the soft plastics for me. But like I said, I had that one on Norman, one out of Beatty's Ford last year, and I had like a little 6-inch glide bait, and that thing obliterated it. So that was fun too.
I picked up a couple Berkeley coal shads this week, so I'm gonna be trying it out this year, seeing if I like if I like it, and
Yeah.
seeing how it does. Maybe it'll get me a kicker fish to cull up once I
Get a small limit. Yeah.
get my first limit in a tournament. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, so actually your guys' lakes over there, Jordan, is where I first picked up the swim bait. I was having a tough day out there, didn't get anything to bite, and I was fishing along some grass. And I was like, hey, I'm gonna throw on a swim bait. I've never fished it, but let me see what happens. And he was able to catch a few fish that way to finish out the day. So that's kind of where I got the juice for it, I guess.
Yeah. Jordan's got some tanks.
Yeah.
All right, Fenway, what about you? Your favorite lure to throw?
Well, I'm not sure I want to give it away. That's like big deal. I've done well the last.
Why don't you go second favorite then? Throw them off your scent.
In the monthly, in the last 3 months, I've got first or second. And so I'm not sure I want to give that away. But no, seriously, I like jerk baits, all of them, is during the day. But I fish mainly at night. I have a job that I work a lot. And in the winter, I don't get home till late. And so I go out in the dark quite often. And that's where I find peace and serenity. And I throw a lot of plastics. And the Yamatanuki has been really good for me lately.
Awesome.
Okay. For sure. All right. Well, last but not least, Fenway, we'll start with you. What's your favorite time of year to fish?
The winter. I have no clue what I'm doing this summer. I have no clue. The winter, I can cover miles. There's hardly anybody else on the lake, especially at night. I mean, it's just calm and peaceful. So winter, because I'm the only one out there.
I'm going opposite. I'm going blazing heat. So
really,
yeah, I love the hot summer sun, even though I'm dealing with jet skis and wake boats. Yeah, I like it. I can tell myself that's what's nice about fishing the hours we fish is I know at 10 or 11 o'clock, once that sun gets up in the air, all right, now I can start fishing because this is when I usually catch fish. Everybody's like, oh, we need to go earlier and get that topwater bite. I'm like, no, that's a waste of time. Like, give me the hot sun, man. So I always seem to do better in the hot sun, which is great, tournament fishing, because if you do struggle that first 4 hours, in my mind, I'm like, all right, now it's starting to turn on for me. So it's a little extra confidence right there and halfway through where other people are like, oh, this is over for the day. Yeah, I like the heat, man. Just put me out there and let me ride the waves with them.
For sure. Yeah. For sure. Yeah, I'm a summer guy too. I hate the heat. I love the cold. But in terms of fishing, I've just got it figured out better in the summertime because that's when I was able to go. So heck yeah.
Good.
All right. Well, we're going to start wrapping things up. So like we said, all of the links for Purple Heart Homes, all of the links for the Real Heroes tournament, all of that will be in the show notes. So Fenway, we'll kind of start with you and kind of let you plug your social media, your sponsors, supporters, anybody you want to say thank you to, tell our listeners where they can find you and how they can follow your adventures.
Well, I just want to thank Purple Heart Homes and John and Cody and Ashley at Fiddles Kayak Anglers. They've really gone above. They were already collecting money for this event. There's already money in the pot for Purple Heart Homes, and the way they're going to do really great. So I just want to give a shout out to them. And you can find me I'm on TourneyX. I'm on. I run a business called Hugh Supply in Statesville. I'm one of the sponsors. You can find me there on LinkedIn. But I can't say enough for John and Cody and for what you guys are doing. You guys are doing great things. Please keep it up. Invest your talents.
Yeah.
For sure. And John?
Yeah. Well, I mean, to follow that up. So, yeah, thank you, Fenway, for helping me, and Brad and Cody and Ashley for allowing us to run it through the trail. Thank you guys for having us on. Shout out. I haven't even publicly announced this yet, but I'm on the pro staff for Eco Fishing Shop. So shout out to them. Shout out to Custom Tackle. They've really helped me out this year over there in Denver. Do have a discount code that you can check out on my Instagram, save a little money over there. Same thing with Biz Baits and Aqua Batteries. Obviously, my business, Team Balato House, Down with 8 Realtors here in North Carolina. But yeah, it's just those are people that support me. But again, this is all about the event and what we're doing in July. And I just can't thank Purple Heart Homes enough, and Fenway and all the guys and gals that are a part of hopefully making it a great event.
Absolutely. Well, guys, thank you so much.
My social media handles at House Fishing Adventures. Forgot that part. So
I was going to do it. I was going to plug it.
Yeah.
I was going to plug it for you if you didn't. I was going to tell him to make sure to follow you.
Yeah. Whenever last week, whenever I told Robert, I was like, so next week we're going to be interviewing Jon House. He goes, "Oh, House Fishing Adventures. That's awesome."
Yeah. So you can find me on all the social media platforms there, other than Twitter. I don't really do Twitter, but Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and then obviously YouTube. So but the Instagram has the little link tree thing there, and you can click that and then find the discount codes that I have that I can offer you as well. Oh, Carolina Waters too. Shoot, that's a big one. So, that's where you get this sweet hat.
But John, guys, if you guys win anything, you can put a portion of that. You can donate it to the event. You don't have to fish that event. You can win something else and just give 10% of your winnings. You win $200, give $20. Thing. You didn't lose that, but why not share that? With John and FK and Purple Heart Homes.
Exactly.
Yes, awesome. And right now at Carolina Waters, you will not get that hat because they're out of them. Because I was going to order one, and they're like, "Oh, it's sold out." I was like, "Oh," so I'm waiting for them to stock back up on those because I want one of those. I think that's the same one you have on that.
This is the sweetest hat I've had from them.
That's the camo. And I looked on their website. I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to get one of those." And I was like, "Oh, it's out of stock."
Yeah,
but I like that hat.
Yeah, we need Kim and I need to get them on those fishing hats though. They still haven't got me my my Gilligan hat. I'm a bald dude, so yeah.
Heck yeah! All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show and for telling us all about Purple Heart Homes and spreading the awareness and for all that y'all are doing for our veterans and all that good stuff, y'all. Thank you so much.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
Yep, thank you.
Keep up the work.
All right. Well, Robert, that was another awesome episode. We're excited to help out in any way we can with that. So y'all make sure that, like Robert said, even if you're not going to be fishing the event, make sure you go sign up for it. And if you prefer not to sign up for an event that you're not going to fish for whatever reason, you can go and click the link in the show notes on the donate here and just go ahead and make a donation straight to Purple Heart Homes. So Robert, did you have anything you wanted to add to this one, man?
No, man, it's a good episode. I think it's a great cause, and it sounds like they got it going on. I think we talked about last week trying to get over there and fish with the Foothills guys. I want to fish some of those mountain lakes. So I want to fish Lake James, and so I'm going to go over there and do something. I'm probably not going to fish the Norman one, but I am going to go sign up for it for the charity event that we just got done talking about. I'm going to go sign up for it, but I probably won't be able to fish that. I know I got something else that's probably going to be going on that weekend. I was checking my calendar when they were talking about the dates. I was like, let me see if I can go over there to Norman because I would like to fish it, but I think I'm going to be out of pocket that weekend. But I am going to sign up for it, and I'm going to try to go and fish some events with Foothills, or at least one, if I can get it in there where it lines up where baseball, basketball, field hockey, badminton, whatever my kids are into playing all this, as long as it lines up, and I'm going to try to get over there and fish with those guys.
Absolutely. And the only thing I'm going to add to this one is just a fun fact. We are recording this on Ash Wednesday. I completely forgot it was Ash Wednesday until I saw somebody walking around at work with a big cross on their forehead. I was like, "Oh man, is that today?" So whenever you're listening to this, hope everything's going well with whatever it is you're fasting. Robert, you want to close us out in prayer, man?
Yeah, man. Let's do it. Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for allowing us to spread the word for this charity event and others. Please watch over John and Fenwick and Brad, and please give them the strength that they need and the fortitude to keep serving the veterans. And please watch over everybody involved with the tournament coming up this summer. Allow the word to spread about that. Use your glory to spread the word and to get as many people involved with that as we can. And please forgive us of our sins, and may our words and actions bring people closer to you. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right. Well, that is going to do it for this episode. Y'all take care, and God bless.
Thank you for listening to the Faith and Fishing podcast. Please consider supporting those that support us. Jade's Jigs lead-free finesse tackle. Use promo code FNF10 at jadesjigs.com for 10% off. Save your outdoors. Stop losing your gear. Use promo code FNFP15 at saveyouroutdoors.com for 15% off. Omnia Fishing. Check out Premium, Premium Pro, and their Ambassador program. Use promo code FNF10 for 10% off at omniafishing.com. And if it's your first order, use promo code FNF15 for 15% instead. Mr. B Lure Company. High-quality handmade baits made right here in the U.S. MrBLureCompany.com. Use promo code faithnfishn for 15% off your first purchase. Get outdoors, pedal, and paddle. Check them out at the shop in Greensboro, North Carolina, or at shopgetoutdoors.com for all your paddling and cycling needs. And Naqua Adventure Gear, lighting, power, and all the connectors at Naqua.com. Please rate, review, subscribe on whatever app you're listening on. That's going to do it for this episode. Y'all take care, and God bless.